Hey everyone, what's up? Squid, Jaded, Frank, Patty. How is everybody? Oh shit, what did I do? Except for Frank, he's a bad boy. Can y'all hear me good? Wacky tacky. Hey love. It's always Frank's fault, Jaded, right? I don't really have a lot to go over today, but there's just some things, just new information. Well, I don't even know if it's real information. Ashley Banfield released on this last night. And I had remembered hearing, let's see here, another video a while back. And it kind of correlates with what Ashley was saying recently. And I'm just wondering, maybe, is this her source or have a good day at work? Tacky tacky. I've kind of stepped away from this case a little bit because so many people are fucking milking it like they do all the other high profile cases. And when people start doing that, it just kind of turns me off on a case. I don't know. I'm not going to try to compete with fucking tragedy pimps. Not going to do it. And I'm kind of lost on like all the recent stuff that's recently come out on this. Hey, wifey, Ella. Hope you're good today, love. Have a good day, Jaded. Hope you're doing good, squids, bro. So if y'all have any information you want me to look at on this, same thing happened with me in Kylie's case. I was covering it and I still am passionate about that case, but fucking people just kept milking it dry and they're still milking it, some people. Poor Kylie, rest in peace, baby girl. I don't think Kylie will ever get justice. I don't care what anybody says, that wasn't no fucking accident. Might have been an accident that they covered up. People are fucking nuts. I don't see how people sit here and milk these cases for money. I don't get it. That's why fucking YouTube don't have a good name for cases. Let me see here. I don't know why I put it on subs only. It's just a habit. So bear with me. Lordy, lordy. People fucking suck. Oh, Squid. I'm sorry, bro. I know what you go through, and You know I'm always here if you need a friend. You know that. Hey, Trixie, love. Good to see you. I'm doing meth. I love you. Exactly, wacky tacky. I don't know. I know Koberger filed something. I don't know. I don't, like I said, I haven't kept up with it. I mean, I'll watch stuff here and there on it, but I don't like dig into it like I was. I stopped because the fucking tragedy pimps turned me off of it. They just milk it fucking dry, man. But I don't know. I think Ashley Banfield needs to shut the fuck up, in my opinion, because she's giving out information and she shouldn't be saying it. Could fucking jeopardize the fucking trial. I don't know if y'all seen the latest little thing from Ashley. It was only a minute long. I mean, I like Ashley, but gosh, she's getting bad. I don't know. I don't know how y'all feel about Nancy Grace, but I loved her. I'd rather have her than Banfield any fucking day. My opinion. I like Nancy Grace. Right, wacky tacky. That's what I'm kind of waiting on too. You know, is June when it really starts because right now I don't know. It's just I don't know. This case is weird. I'm gonna play this little thing from Ashley first.
911 right away, perhaps.
Hold on, let me start over.
Let me tell you, it certainly does give a little bit more perspective as to why she didn't call 911 right away, perhaps. We're told that Dylan actually mistook the noises that she'd been hearing. Remember, the affidavit said that around 4 a.m., she could hear some noises up on the third floor, thought it was maybe, Kaylee playing with the dog, Murphy, didn't think a lot more than that. But ultimately, a few moments later, she heard a lot of noises. She opened her door and effectively kind of yelled out to her roommates, calm down, like cut it out, keep it down. You guys are being loud. I'm trying to sleep. It's late, thinking that there were roommates horsing around, that perhaps all that noise that she was hearing was just them, being boisterous and still in party mode. It was late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. So she then closed her door and went back to bed, but within minutes, perhaps sort of roused again by noise, opens the door down already. It's the middle of the night. And that's when she sees the figure coming towards her. Now, this has been a big bone of contention for a lot of people. Why, if you saw some shadowy, terrifying figure walking towards you, would you just close your door and go back to bed and not call the police? And the characterization to the source who spoke directly with her after the murders is that she didn't think that that figure was anything other than just part of the horsing around, maybe one of the parts. Startled her nonetheless to see a man in the middle of the night, dark, walking towards her. Thank you for watching. Go to
Okay, and that's all there was on that. I know, wacky tacky. It's crazy, ain't it? Why is she doing this? I mean, I don't know if this stuff is this information is true or not, but if it is true, she's kind of putting. I don't know. I don't think this is good. Couldn't it fucking fuck with the trial and the investigation and shit? Putting all this information out there that the cops haven't even put out? I don't know what to believe. Okay, I'm going to show you something else. This was posted a while back. 4 weeks ago, a month ago, by somebody. I seen this. Somebody shared it or something a while back, and I thought it was just somebody fucking yapping their gums, but it kind of goes with there is a gag order, Ella. I think like on the family and the lawyers, because I know Kaylee Gonzalez's dad and them are trying to do something because they put a gag order on the Gonzalez family now. I think they're hiding shit because from the families, because like Xana's family now is wanting questions Ethan's family. Everybody's like, yeah, she got a big head for sure, Frank. Okay, now let me play this other little thingy here. Okay, now remember, this was posted a month ago, and this channel has less than 500 subs. And just listen and listen to what Ashley said.
Okay, so before we dive into what I'm referring to about the Fed screwing or attempting to screw Dylan, and give you a brief background as to who I am. So, my girlfriend is in Dylan's inner circle. And by inner circle, I mean inner circle. Like they've hung out almost every day since the incident occurred. Supposedly, because all of this is actual firsthand factual information. Where should I start to clear things up? First of all, there's a lot of misconception about Dylan suffering from PTSD or trauma or any of that. None of that is accurate. In fact, when we try to console Dylan after the incident, she's the one that was laughing at me and my girlfriend and I, talking about we're so weird, and we tried to give her a hug and stuff. So she's
Sorry, y'all. Bear with me. I don't know why my fucking StreamYard does this shit. It's keeps kicking me off.
been through a lot. She doesn't have PTSD and didn't suffer any trauma. Um, the incident that night, uh, and what I'm referring to, the feds actually put a lot of words into her mouth that she didn't say herself first. So there was a lot of leading statements that they were insinuating to her, and she was really scared the first few days, obviously, after the incident occurred. So, like, the reason none of it makes sense in the affidavit is because it didn't really happen. When she saw the individual, she was just standing in a doorway, like, like anybody who opens the door. It was just, she opened the door and yelled at Ethan and Xana, and who she thought was their friend. She yelled at them to be quiet. That's what was going on with that situation. And she just went back into the room. She locked the door like usual, and you know, went to sleep. Everything was quiet after she yelled at them, so she didn't think anything of it. For everyone who's creating these random stories about her being shocked or traumatized, she didn't realize anything was going on. And it might sound crazy, it might sound dumb, but she really had no clue anything was going on. They were being a little loud, so she yelled at them to be quiet, and that's it. She locked her door and she just went back to her room. And she didn't want to be nosy or anything. So, she was kind of new to that house, so she didn't want to be nosy and get up all up in their business, especially at in the middle of the night or early morning. So it's as simple as that. Everyone trying to blow that whole situation into something that's not. Um, so yeah, that's that. and she didn't actually get a real good look uh, at Brian. At the time, she assumed it was one of Xana and Ethan's friend who was just getting ready to leave, who was walking out. She didn't get that good of a look. The feds were really aggressive with Dylan the first few days, which is why she hired the attorney to begin with, because of the treatment of her during the interview, more like an interrogation, to be honest. So that's why she got an attorney, because the way they were talking to her, and they didn't really understand or believe why she's the only one alive when you kind of skip rooms to get to the other two rooms. So she didn't really like the feel of how the interrogators or the feds were talking to her. And within like a few days after the incident, they approached her with pictures of Brian. It was like, is this the guy? Do you think this is the guy? This is definitely him, right? And they were almost leading her to believe this has to be the person. And she wasn't really sure, but they kind of put those words in her mouth. It's almost like, they were insinuating it so much to where she was like, yeah, yeah, I think, yeah, no, it's definitely him. And that's when they just kind of like ran with it. So what you see in the affidavit is play out. It didn't play out that way. Um, so Dylan's attorney and her, and actually all of us, are pretty upset at how they threw her under the bus in the affidavit. When's the last time you've seen a witness or like a snitch in a case, their actual names being mentioned? The fact that they didn't redact it. We all think that the feds and prosecutors threw her name in there purposely to apply more pressure, because Dylan was really wishy-washy during the interrogation, and with them, putting these words, set in stone on paper, it kind of puts a lot of pressure on her now, because everyone views her as like some star witness, the star of the case. So uh, that's what we all believe, that she kind of is getting screwed over by the feds and the prosecutor, because now she has to testify and she has to say kind of what words they put in her mouth instead of what she actually believed, and what she actually knows happened, like with her own words, not words that were like shoved in her mouth. So yeah, her attorney is pretty upset.
So that she has to go with what the feds put in her head and in her mouth. Why? Why does she have to? I don't know. But y'all see what I'm saying about this and what Ashley just released recently? I think this is Ashley's source. Yeah, Frank, I can believe this. Squid or Frank. Um, yeah, I wasn't in college or nothing, but when I was younger, me and my friends, we partied and stuff, and there was a lot of people in and out, and yeah, Jody, like, why would she have to lie? That makes no sense to me. But I think this is Ashley Banfield's source, in my opinion, because it's kind of the same story that Ashley put out. And remember, this video here that I'm playing now was posted a month ago, 4 weeks ago. Yeah, I can see that, Squid. They've screwed this whole fucking case. I have a feeling he's going to walk or something. I don't know. But surely they have her interviews with the feds and stuff recorded, and they can see how they was trying to put thoughts into her head and stuff. Why didn't she just tell the truth? If someone was sitting there trying to tell me, oh, you seen his bushy eyebrows, I'd be like, the fuck I did. This is what I seen, and this is my statement. And you know what I don't know, but she's young and she was scared. I get it. But yeah, Jody, I feel like he's going to get off, or get a slap on the hand or something. I do. And then Ashley releasing all this stuff, but I have a feeling this is her source. And he's not even a source of, but this, what he said makes sense to me more than anything I've heard, though. And I have a feeling if this is true, they said that she opened the door the first time and yelled for him to be quiet because it was late. I think that is when he was upstairs doing in Kaylee and Maddie, and he heard Dylan yell, and that's whenever he went downstairs and he's like, oh shit, there's witnesses. And he probably didn't even think to go to Dylan's room because Dylan's door was probably shut and lights off. And Xana's room was probably had lights on. So he went to where the lights were. Because in the first pictures and stuff we saw of the house, the lights and everything was on in every room. And they can't turn the lights off and on in cases like this because it's a crime scene. So the lights were obviously on when Xana and Ethan got killed. And I think whenever Dylan, the first time she yelled out, in my opinion, Brian heard her because he was upstairs slaughtering those two. He heard Dylan yell, knew somebody was up, went downstairs, saw Xana's bedroom light on, because it was dark in the house, or I don't know. I did not see his wiener, Frank. He's probably got a big one. All the fucking weirdos like that have big ones. Look at the fucking murder weapon. All right, let's finish listening to this.
So it's not like she's identifying somebody she didn't see. It just didn't play out necessarily like, oh, bushy eyebrows. She saw bushy eyebrows, and was able to 100% identify him. It's just initially when, detectives and feds came in and took over the scene had been contaminated so badly by the local authorities when they first came, first responders. They stomped all over the place, contaminated the scene. All the, other people that were at the house, they were, walking up and down the steps, to make sure what they're seeing is what they're really seeing. So I mean, this is a scene that was really badly contaminated. So to equal the playing field, the feds feel like, having a star witness is critical here. But just the way she was being interrogated initially was it's kind of crazy. It's not what you guys think. They weren't being all sensitive and gentle to her. They were really accusatory and kind of, pressured, put the press on her. Thought that she might have something to do with it because it just didn't make sense to them why she's the only one alive. And on top of that, didn't see anything or really hear anything upstairs. So I think that's pretty much everything I've covered. So yeah, just to go over the whole, suffering trauma. She was shocked that she saw him walk past her. Like it's not as dramatic as you guys think. Like he was already halfway towards the kitchen and walking out. And for all of y'all that are scratching your heads, yes, police do lie. They've kind of thrown everybody around the ringer through this whole case from the very start. And you have to think about it. Why would a survivor, a victim, have to hire an attorney? Obviously, they were mistreating her pretty badly as they're interrogating her, especially now throwing her name in the affidavit like that. That's all because they're pretty upset she hired an attorney to begin with. Yeah, and because they want to put a lot of pressure on her from the public for her to be the star witness. But aside from that, she's doing good. She's the same old Dylan. Yeah, no, there's no trauma, PTSD, anything. She really feels for, you know, her friends who are deceased, and she does beat herself up a little bit about not being more involved in the situation that night. But realistically, I mean, something like that is not going to cross your mind that something like that's taking place in your house. So yeah, she does feel for the family, and she's really saddened by the whole situation. But as far as her as an individual, she's still the same person. She's not like a traumatized individual. um, so yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything. And let's see. Yeah, no, that's everything. Hopefully this video doesn't come off sounding crazy, um, and clears up a lot of the questions everybody has. All right.
Hi, Outdoorsy Life. Yeah, Jody, I would pressure her too. But this does make sense. Right, Jody. Like, I would have PTSD from hell over this. And I would be traumatized. And yeah, that don't. Yeah, I agree. She should be very traumatized. Yeah. That's true, Squid. Something's just up with her. Do y'all think this here could be true? I mean, is this Ashley Banfield's source? Because it's kind of the same thing that she put out in 1 minute. She didn't go as detailed, but that's the only video the dude has on his channel. And he started this channel December 30th last year. Yeah, I do get PTSD and fart. Survivor's guilt too. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. But he skipped her door and went all the way over to Ethan and Xana, unless it's like I said, he heard Dylan yell for people to quiet down. It was late. And he went downstairs after he got done slaughtering Kaylee and Maddie and heard Ethan and Xander seen the light on or something, because if it's true about Ethan being in the hallway, I don't know. I think Ashley Banfield needs to start to fuck up. Right, Jody? I mean, but I can see like Squid said above earlier, that many people in a house. You see so many people in and out all hours of the night and stuff. And like the dude said, the last thing you're going to think about is your roommate and friends are being slaughtered to death. You know what I mean? Especially being that young. I mean, I can agree with that. That's the last thing. Well, if I was that young still, now I wouldn't. I'm into true crime too damn much, but I could see that being true. Jody, I think Maddie was a target. And I think Kaylee was just there at the wrong place, wrong time, and same for Ethan. Actually, I think Maddie and Xana both could have been targets. I don't know. But Maddie, yes. I think their connection was from the Mad Greek restaurant where Maddie and Xana lived. Koberger was known to go there to eat. He got a vegan pizza or some shit. Because Maddie, she was a beautiful girl. She was gorgeous. And Xana. But I think Maddie might have been the main target, in my opinion. Who do you think, Jody? And something else I don't understand. This stuff with Kaylee. Kaylee says she had moved out. But her bed was still there. There was blankets on her bed. All that. Like, if she moved out, where did she move to? Her parents? I mean, do they live close there? Right, Frank. Just eat the fucking cardboard box, God. But yeah, he'd go to the Mad Greek where they worked and got the vegan pizza. And why didn't Murphy get any blood on him or anything? I don't understand that either. Did the murderer lock him in a room before it all started, or I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. Let's see here. Okay, now I got another little thing from old fucking Banfield here I want to play about Brian getting fired from WSU, his termination. See, I'm kind of out of the loop on this stuff. I know about this that I just played because I remember that video of that guy saying that stuff. And then when I heard Ashley say that, I was like, oh shit. I think that's her source, is that dude. And I don't know, he seemed pretty confident. He's like, I'm not going to say allegedly or in my opinion. He said, because this is facts. I don't know. And that's the only video he's got. Let's watch the thing about his termination from old Banfield.
Brian Koberger had a propensity for bloody up close murder, and that has not yet been proved. He still may have needed like a trigger, something to set him off. Like losing his job as a teaching assistant at Washington State University. And then with that, losing your funding for the doctoral studies program you're in the school, because it appears right now that that's what happened. We now have sources with direct knowledge of the termination letter that was sent to Brian Koberger. And tonight I want to read the letter to you in full. The letter is dated December the 19th, 2022. Starts this way. Mr. Koberger, I am writing this letter to formally inform you of the termination of your teaching assistantship with the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology, effective December 31st, 2022. In keeping with the WSU Graduate Student Handbook, chapters 9G2, remember that, and 12E3, remember that, below is the list of events that led to you being deficient on the following contingency clause of your funding. Quote, maintaining satisfactory progress in fulfilling assistantship service requirements and duties. On September 23rd, 2022, you had ways in which you had failed to meet your expectations as a TA thus far in the semester. As a result, on November 2, Graduate Director Willits and I met with you to discuss an improvement plan, which you agreed to, and I shared with you in an email dated November 3rd. We met again December 7th, this time with a professor, Professor Snyder, as well as Dr. Willits and I, to discuss your progress on the improvement plan. While not perfect, we agreed there was progress. On December 9th, there was another altercation with Professor Snyder, in which it became apparent that you had not made progress regarding professionalism, and about which I wrote to you on December 11th, requesting a meeting. We met on December 19th, when I informed you of your termination as a TA for spring semester. So there's that. And we dug into the WSU Undergraduate Student Handbook, and we learned something that those two chapters letter, and that other one, 12E3, covers graduate and professional student complaint and grievance procedures. All very interesting. Joining me now, Jennifer Coffendorfer. She's a former FBI special agent. She's been following this case since the beginning. Jennifer, I'm so fascinated by the data.
This is Frank's idol, y'all. He loves old cough drop. Looky there, just for you, buddy.
On this now, we don't know who the author of the letter is. We heard certain names that were quoted in that letter. We don't know who wrote the letter. It just refers to as I. But the dates on it are, significant, because we knew that he had a meeting coming up on January 19th. He could have been doing that by Zoom as he was crossing the country. But it almost sounded like he didn't see this coming. He didn't see the firing coming.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, certainly by these dates, though, he knows there is something going awry with his position and would certainly be concerned if these allegations are true. And I agree with you that this would be something that could trigger. It would not answer why he did this, but it would explain why he chose the time to do this. Losing a job, potentially losing your income, the embarrassment of losing your position, maybe even having your dream of being a PhD in jeopardy. These would all be triggering factors to propel you into doing something this heinous, combined with his true reasoning from deep inside himself.
So what's extraordinary is the screenshot that you have come across from a source, a student of Brian Koberger's. It's a screenshot of correspondence that she had with him, and specifically a statement that he wrote to her. And here it is. I'm putting it up on the screen. This is Jennifer's reporting. She said, this student is written to. Koberger says on December 16th, "I'm glad that this course has given you a more nuanced perspective pertaining to CJ as criminal justice. Have a great break." Again, this is December 16th. He's going to be canned 3 days later. He's in the process, of being canned. But it truly does seem that he's, carrying on the work of being a TA, even as he's left. He's already in Pennsylvania by this point. I guess he's working from home at mom and dad's house.
Yes, it would seem so. And, typically someone with a narcissistic personality doesn't really see anything wrong with what they're doing and doesn't really comprehend sometimes the negative impact of their actions and behaviors. And they carry on as normal until, as in this case, if true, he was indeed fired.
So can I ask you, and I don't know if you're able to say, because we do keep sources close to the vest, that student he was corresponding with, was it a male or a female student?
Female.
Interesting, because if we can put that back up, there's a score that's written in the top right-hand corner of the email, and I think it was like 125 out of 125. We can't see it on that version of it, but was that the accurate score? They got a perfect score, this female, because we've heard he's been grading female candidates, students a lot lower.
That's certainly what this intimated. I cut it down just to keep her identity, not revealed.
Sure.
But that's what it looked like, 125 out of 125.
Okay. So the next thing I wanted to mention, Jennifer, is that Melissa Luck, who's a journalist at KXLY in Spokane, she received a response from WSU about this termination reporting that we've been doing. And WSU cited a whole bunch of federal law saying they can't, release a lot of employment records, but they did say this. This is what the statement that she got was. In part, Mr. Koberger does not currently have a teaching assistantship, and he is not currently enrolled in WSU. What do you make of that?
Well, it was certainly ambiguous. They did not want to say anything that would have been against the policies and procedures of release of information. But I did find this interesting. Recall when the search warrant was returned on his office. I thought it very surprising that not one thing was gleaned from that office. Not a computer, not any paperwork, not any doodling, nothing from that office. And this possibly could explain why.
It's fascinating. I just want to add one piece of new reporting tonight as well, Jennifer. You may already know of this, but it just sort of crossed the wires late, that Pennsylvania from Pennsylvania, you went across the country to Idaho to go to school, or to Washington to go to school, and they're saying they're looking through all their cold cases now for possible links to Koberger. I suppose that's not a surprise given what they're now learning, in the allegations against him. Jennifer, excellent reporting as usual. Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it.
That the defendant be held without bail.
So, I don't know. I'm torn on Kaylee. I think Maddie was the target. But yeah, something is off with Dylan for sure. Of course, Frank. Ooh, I love tortilla soup. I'm jealous, Wacky. Yeah, something, Jody, is definitely up with those 12 pings. I don't know. I agree with you kind of on that. I don't know. And for some reason, I don't know, I feel like one of them girls in that house had an OF, only friends. You know what I mean? Because that's like such a common fucking thing these days for people to do. And you can't tell me one of those beautiful girls didn't have that. Maybe he followed one of them on there or something, or I don't know. She did have a sassy mouth. That's what I'm saying. I think it's Maddie because she probably turned him down, probably made fun of him, talked shit to him or something. You know what I mean? And then there was that girl that, when Maddie that was roommates and she unalived herself like a year ago. See, at first I thought it was that girl's brother that was done it as revenge. You think it would have turned up by now? I don't know. It's just also weird. I think Ashley needs to shut up. Just looking here to see what else. Because I really just wanted to go over that main part about the recent stuff Ashley released in that video of that guy talking. And then of his dismissal letter. Have y'all been following the Murdaugh murders? I haven't. I'm curious about that. I haven't been watching the trial. I should have been watching it and streaming it on here. But I got sick a while back because I didn't have my medications, and I kind of fucking quit watching everything too. Do y'all think Alex Murdaugh's guilty? Are they still fucking with Britney? Britney Spears squid? Yes, Wacky Tacky. She had been roommates with Maddie. You know, leave Britney alone if it's Britney Spears, man. Leave that girl alone. You think he's guilty, Trixie? See, Jody, I haven't kept. I kept up with it in the beginning, but then everybody fucking. Oh my god. Yeah, leave Britney alone. Hey, Tammy, yeah, yo. Have a good day, Wacky Tacky. Love you. See, I'm kind of torn on Alex Murdaugh. I don't know. But like I said, I haven't. I should have followed the trial. I so wish I'd followed it from day one. They're on like what, day 12 or something now. Oh, squid. Oh, just a thing that Ashley Banfield put out. Hold on, I'll play it for you, Tammy.
And let me tell you, it certainly does give a little bit more perspective as to why she didn't call 911 right away, perhaps. We're told that Dylan actually mistook the noises that she'd been hearing. Remember, the affidavit said that around 4 a.m., she could hear some noises up on the third floor, thought it was maybe, Kaylee playing with the dog Murphy, didn't think a lot more than that. But ultimately, a few moments later, she heard a lot of noises. She opened her door and effectively kind of yelled out to her roommates, calm down, like cut it out, keep it down. You guys are being loud. I'm trying to sleep. It's late. Thinking that there were roommates horsing around, that perhaps all that noise that she was hearing was just them, being boisterous and still in party mode. It was late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. So she then closed her door and went back to bed, but within minutes, perhaps sort of roused again by noise, opens the door again, was going to say something again to the effect of, keep it down already. It's the middle of the night. And that's when she sees the figure coming towards her. Now, this has been a big bone of contention for a lot of people. Why, if you saw some shadowy, terrifying figure walking towards you, would you just close your door and go back to bed and not call the police? And the characterization to the source who spoke directly with her after the murders is that she didn't think that figure was anything other than just part of the horsing around, maybe one of the partiers, maybe somebody who was a friend of one of the other roommates that was making all the noise. But it, startled her nonetheless to see a man in the middle of the night, dark, walking towards her. Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
That's what we went over in the beginning. This was the latest thing that Ashley's mentioned about it. And then I had another video. Squid, I don't watch pro football. If it was college football, Alabama all day, baby. Roll Tide. Jody, that's a good point, but I think because it was 4 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. None of it fucking makes sense. And then, Tammy, yo, I have another video that I played that this dude released. He come out and spoke about a month ago, a month before Ashley released this last night. And I was just comparing it, because I think that's Ashley's source. Hold on, I'll see if I'll show you a little bit of that clip too. I'm not going to play it all again, but I'll let you listen to the part that goes with what Ashley said.
Okay. Okay, so before we dive into what I'm referring to about the Fed screwing or attempting to screw Dylan, and give you a brief background as to who I am. So my girlfriend is in Dylan's inner circle. And by inner circle, I mean inner circle. Like they've hung out almost every day since the incident occurred. And I've seen her a plethora of times as well. So you're going to notice I'm not going to use words like allegedly, supposedly, because all of this is actual firsthand factual information. Where should I start to clear things up? First of all, there's a lot of misconception about Dylan suffering from PTSD or trauma or any of that. None of that is accurate. In fact, when we try to console Dylan after the incident, she's the one that was laughing at me and my girlfriend and I, talking about we're so rough life, growing up. She's been through a lot. She doesn't have PTSD and didn't suffer any trauma. The incident that night, and what I'm referring to with the feds actually put a lot of words into her mouth that she didn't say herself first. So there was a lot of leading statements that they were insinuating to her. And she was really scared the first few days, obviously, after the incident occurred. So like the reason none of it makes sense in the affidavit is because it didn't really happen that way. So she never stood there shocked when she saw the individual. She was just standing in a doorway, like anybody who opens the door. It was just, she opened the door and yelled at Ethan and Xana and who she thought was their friend. She yelled at them to be quiet. That's what was going on with that situation. And she just went back into the room. She locked the door like usual and, went to sleep. Everything was quiet after she yelled at them. So she didn't think anything of it. For everyone who's creating these random stories about her being shocked or traumatized, she didn't realize anything was going on. And it might sound crazy, it might sound dumb, but she really had no clue. anything was going on. They were being a little loud, so she yelled at them to be quiet. And that's it. She locked her door and she just went back to her room. You know, and she didn't want to be nosy or anything. So, you know, she was kind of new to that house, especially at, you know, in the middle of the night or early morning. So it's as simple as that. Everyone trying to blow that whole situation into something that's not. Um, so yeah, that's that. And she didn't actually get a real good look uh, at Brian. You know, at the time, she assumed it was one of Xana and Ethan's friend who was just getting ready to leave, who was walking out. She didn't get that good of a look. The feds were really aggressive with Dylan the first few days, which is why she hired the attorney to begin with, because of the treatment of her during the interview, more like an interrogation, to be honest. So that's why she got an attorney, because the way they were talking to her, and you know, they didn't really understand or believe why she's the only one alive when you kind of skip rooms to get to the other two rooms. So she didn't really like the feel of how the, you know, the interrogators or the feds were talking to her. And within like a few days after the incident, they approached her with pictures of Brian. It was like, is this the guy? Do you think this is the guy? This is definitely him, right? And they were almost leading her to believe this has to be the person. And she wasn't really sure, but they kind of put those words in her mouth. It's almost like, you know, they were insinuating it so much to where she was like, yeah, I think, yeah, no, it's definitely him. And that's when they just kind of like ran with it. So what you're seeing in the affidavit is it didn't play out that way. Um, So Dylan's attorney and her, and actually all of us, are pretty upset at how they threw her under the bus in the affidavit. When's the last time you've seen a witness or like a snitch in a case, their actual names being mentioned? You know, the fact that they didn't redact it. We all think that the feds and prosecutors threw her name in there purposely to apply more pressure, because Dylan was really wishy-washy during the interrogation, and with them, you know, putting these words, you know, set in stone on paper, it kind of puts a lot of pressure on her now, because everyone views her as like some star witness, the star of the case. So that's what we all believe, that she kind of is getting screwed over by, you know, the feds and the prosecutor.
But yeah, that's the main part of it there. But it's kind of pretty much the same thing Ashley released last night. I kind of believe this guy too, Squid. I do. Because, like, in my opinion, it is like the theory that makes the most sense to me, honestly. Now, if this had happened in like a family home, you know, or something, I would question it. But a party college house, you know. Tammy Ayo, I don't know if she can do anything about it, but I think if she changes her story, it's going to benefit Brian. I don't know. Yeah, but this guy come out with this video a month ago and Ashley just released that last night. What do you think, Frank?
None of your business.
It is my business.
None of your business. I don't think he's who he says he is. Does link up with the Ashley thing. I see that. Then do I think it's Ashley's source? Maybe. Strongly, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't
strongly
think
more.
he's as close to Dylan as he's putting on. That his girlfriend is like BFF with her, you know?
Every day they spent together since.
Because it would be
Do you know what I mean?
obvious who the guy is if that was the case. You know what I mean? It'd be obvious to
Yeah.
figure out who he is leaking this information.
Tell me, I did at first, but I heard something. I can't remember what it was. And it's nope, he's guilty.
Yeah, I don't think he's
But
innocent, but I think someone else is involved, some way, shape, or form.
I think he's the cop out. But I do think he's involved.
Yes, I think he's involved in somebody else. Kind of.
You gone? Hello? She's gone.
No, I'm not.
Oh, there you are.
I wasn't gone. You were gone.
No, you were gone.
I don't think he's innocent. I don't either, Tammy.
Yeah, I don't think he's innocent, but I don't think he was the main perpetrator.
I don't either.
I think
He had help. I think it was that guy that was his next door neighbor or whatever that was in the military,
yeah, maybe.
in my opinion.
Military knife.
Yep.
Had a breakdown days later.
Yep.
Told his room he's going to do to them what he did to the others. All makes
Yep.
sense.
I think that he was involved too, in my opinion. I thought that ever since all that happened, whenever he had the cop standoff and shit.
Yeah.
I
But what
think
do we know? We're not cough drops, am we? So we don't know.
It's all crazy.
It's a crazy world.
And this video I just played of that dude has 39,000 views. And he's only got 519 subscribers.
Do you remember you said earlier you had to remove that video from last night? Are you putting it back on your backup channel?
I don't know yet.
If not, I'll put it on my channel. They ain't getting away with it. I'll title it "Strike Me."
Yeah, I might put it on my backup channel because I really don't care about that channel. You know, I didn't know that I was going to go over that live like that, or I would have done it on my backup channel.
Yeah. Well, everyone's gone over that live now, so she's going to be striking a lot of people.
It was fair use, though, because I did pause and talk some. I had it sped up to almost 2 times the speed.
Yeah.
But I'm just not taking a chance with that bitch. But I could win at the strike, but I don't want to lose my channel again.
Yeah. And what would we do without you for 2 weeks?
We'll be over on the boobs channel.
Put it back up.
No, I don't want to fuck with my monetization, you know?
No, no. I mean, it's already at risk of having Tammy Ayo in the chat.
Have a good day, Jody. Thank you for coming. You're always welcome.
Thanks for
Hey,
coming.
Nikki.
Bye. You should stop by KFC sometime. You growling, huh?
Yep.
So what you growling at?
You?
Boy?
Because I
Oh, here
can.
we go. Simping again, look.
All right, Squid. Oh, it's
Right.
crazy.
Oh, okay, I got you now. I thought like he had like a male, no male goat or something. Come, I was like, what? I've seen weirder things happen in the chat. So Dylan might not have saw him. It might all just be Ellie. I said at the beginning of this, Ellie's dodgy, didn't I? I said they're known
I
for it.
believe
They're
that she
known.
didn't see him because he don't have bushy eyebrows. And if it was dark, she wouldn't even be able to see that. You know, I do believe that she didn't see his face.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
You shitting yourself?
That happened once, all right. Yeah, but Tammy, these a lot of cases in Idaho, get overturned because Ellie have fabricated evidence to make a solid case and messed with statements and things like that. And Brian's lawyer overturned a murder case. Death sentence.
I'm gonna.
I think she said she's gonna. I don't know. Yeah, she's gonna mute. Okay. No computer RAM. I drive a Dodge. I actually drive a. Okay. Oh, fair play. I need to get a new laptop. Well, one I got now hasn't got a screen. I love that laptop. It's got so much stuff on it. Where was you yesterday, Tammy Ayo, anyway? It carries on. You're losing your wrench. Telling you. Where is everybody? Sonia will be tucked up in bed or having the wiener. Late's no good though. You know what I mean? You're sitting there saying, I did stop him, but it was late. Late's too late for us. Didn't miss you. Miss you like a rash. Put some cream on it and it'll clear up. So Jaded and Wacky, they've gone to work. They're excused. Sonia, she's probably in bed or having the wiener. I don't dispute what Sonia says. Nikki's got a Chevy. My dad used to drive a Chevy. Oh, it was so embarrassing because like we're in the UK and no, sorry, it wasn't a Chevy. It was a Chrysler. Oh, it's so embarrassing. No idea, Tammy. You'll have to ask her. I don't know. Frank's got a Saturn. Oh dear. Oh no. Do you have Skodas in America? Do you know what Skoda is? Like a very cheap car. Well, they're actually all right now. But when I was a kid, you used to get took the mick out of if your mum and dad had a Skoda. So, who thinks that Brian Koberger had an inside help from the house, from inside the house? See for many years. You see, the thing with Fords is you look after them and they're all right. Like my brother can make Ford parts because he's got Ford stamps and well, he's just good at them sort of things, I guess. I mean, when he's not at work, he's always got a car on his drive that he's working on. It's normally an old-fashioned car. Like he loves his minis. Absolutely loves his minis. I remember the once we was putting the engine from one mini into the other, and I attempted to drive it, and it ended up in soil. Don't drive a car when you're 30. Oh, well.
A Saturn. I remember Saturns. Do they still make them, Tammy? Sonia's got a big fairy floss is here.
No. Is it Scrappy Challenge, Nikki Two Poles? They don't fix up old buggies, but they have to make something and it has to be able to do a certain task. And they get to like piles, well, it's just piles of scrap now, but before they used to go to scrap yards.
What's Squid talking about? Mini Coopers?
Yeah.
I
Old
love
fashioned
those
minis.
cars. I would love to have a Mini Cooper.
Yeah, my brother's got like 6. He buys them from scrap yards and does them up.
Oh, I need one of them. You need to send me one across the pond. I've watched that movie Italian Job 500 times. I love that movie. I love Mini Coopers.
The old fashioned ones.
No, the new ones.
Yeah. No, not the new ones. You don't want a new one. No. No, it's not even a mini.
Well, really,
It's a
I wouldn't even
BMW.
care what. I wouldn't even care what new or old. I just want one. I'm a Ford fan, Squid. I like Fords. I like Ford Mustangs. That's mine.
MGs are the best. I used to love MG Rovers. He had one Squids, and it was before the MG Rover ones, and it had no roof. Because I remember building a roof, we built a roof for it in the garden, and that was the one we was putting the engine in. And before we started work on before he started work on the engine, should I say, I attempted to I attempted to drive the one that was taking the engine out and got it stuck in the dirt.
Right, I got something else I want to play.
I don't
Go
disagree
ahead,
with you,
keep talking.
Tammy. I don't disagree with you, Tammy, about German engineering, but everything else is just gay. They're just gay. Okay. Thank you. No, I don't want to hear you talk again, Tammy. Thank you.
I got some German in me. All right, this is a video. I don't know. I've never watched this, but it popped up on my thing, and it's about Maddie being a bully. Did Maddie have something against Dylan, or let me fix all this so I don't get fucking struck on it.
She's just taking the wiener pics out so she doesn't get struck.
No,
No, Tammy.
I don't have no wiener pics. You wouldn't send me none.
Stop it.
I thought I had one in a picture yesterday you sent. It was your damn finger. You're like, what? What?
I'll have to check. You know, I've had pants on.
All right, let's watch this real quick. See, some of this stuff's like I said, I haven't been into this, so if y'all have already seen all this, I'm sorry, but it's new to me. And I'm just now getting back into this case.
The roommates. If you have no idea that Maddie bullied Dylan, my short answer would be maybe. At the very least, I do not think Maddie had the same amount of love for Dylan as she had the other roommates. If you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, all of this bullying stuff started with this video from Maddie. People say this video is just making fun of Dylan, and I find it weird myself, so I can't judge them. The good news is I found thing one. Side note, you'll have to excuse me talking. I'm eating chewy sweet tarts, and no, you can't have any. So I just want to point out this picture right here, okay? Dylan is on the left. This chick is on the right. Dylan was thing 2. And I always just wondered, where's thing 1? It's normally like a partner kind of costume. So then we have this video that the other girl thing 1 posted. And you'll notice the girl with her is not Dylan. I have them both on the slide, but they are not posing together. The photo of Dylan was taken I believe, in Kaylee or Bethany's room. But I want to point out the one on the left, thing 1, Dylan, thing 2. So I want to focus on the song or the audio chosen for the video and some of the still shots. So the audio was just titled, "Use this if you're gay." And here's another still shot. It's hard to tell if Dylan is laughing or I'm not sure. At some point, it seems like maybe Xana was trying to comfort her. I'm not sure if maybe she just got like super intoxicated or she was crying. I'm a girl. I've done both. It almost looks like a cry, red, like on her face. Y'all know us females are dramatic. Then again, it could just be that she was super intoxicated because right here, it kind of looks like she's passed out, but I'm not sure what she has on. So last night I noticed that Dylan had actually responded and commented on this video. It simply read, "Absolutely not." And the comment was made on the same day it was posted. Now we're going to flip back to this thing 1 girl. And you notice in this video, Dylan is there, but they are not dressed like thing 1 and thing 2. Here's a shot from the video so you can see it's actually Dylan. Here's a second video that was taken the same day, but notice it omits Dylan and 2 other girls. And in this one, she tagged Xana and Bethany. Not at one point do I see a photo of them together dressed like this or a video where they're both in it and dressed like this. That random girl, though, dressed like thing 1 is someone I actually believe was friends with Bethany. And I really wish I could play you the audio because it talks about committing crimes. But anyway, now we're going to go through some posts that Maddie made and the responses from her friends, and then the responses that Maddie gave to them. This is why I think she just didn't value Dylan like the others. So on that set of photos right there, Dylan says, "So pretty," and Maddie sends back the heart face. Then Bethany responds and says, "Love you." And Maddie responds back, "At Bethany Funk, ILYYY, I love you." Then
Okay, that one video where it looks like Maddie's fixing to pour beer or something into her mouth. I always I don't know. I think Maddie was a bully. I'm trying to find the stuff on that Maddie's old roommate that unalived herself.
Then she posts this photo and says, "Meet the roommates." Kaylee comments, "Yeah." And Maddie then responds back to her with, "I don't really know what this face is." I'm assuming it means mind blown. Also underneath that same picture, Bethany writes, "Love you." And Maddie writes, "Love you the mostest." Then Dylan writes, "Love you with a heart." And Maddie just writes back, "At Dylan Mortensen." And these 4 emojis, like a blowing kiss, a wine toast, a halo, and a heart. So it does make me question the responses. Both girls said, "I love you," but she only says it back to Bethany and sends a slew of emojis to Dylan. Next, we have this photo, and it's the one with her in her pink cowboy boots. Bethany says, "You guys are the cutest of all time." And Maddie writes back, "Missing you." Then we have this one where Maddie is just in that pink dress in front of some bushes. Bethany comments, "Stunning." And Maddie writes back, "Love you the most." Then Dylan comments, "Gorgeous." And Maddie writes back, "Thanks, miss." So I'm not sure who moved in when. Like, were Maddie and Bethany already in the house, then Kaylee joined, and then maybe Dylan or something, but maybe she's like she is commenting that way because she doesn't know Dylan that well. Or maybe there really was a true distaste for her from Maddie. I know one thing, if I were Dylan, I would feel some type of way. If I'm throwing out them words, I better hear them back. Another thing I noticed is the lack of like touching amongst the 2 of them, Dylan and Maddie in particular. If you notice, Maddie is a really like touchy-feely person. Like you can see her with Xana here, then Bethany there, and her arm is up on Bethany. But then here she is with Dylan in pretty much the same exact pose, and she's got her arm down to her side. It's the same exact way in this photo. Maddie's arm is down, not touching her. And that almost seems to be the case with Kaylee too, because if you notice in this photo, both of Dylan's hands are down and she's not touching Kaylee. Dylan, however, seems to be a handsy person as well. In all of these photos, we can see that she is touching the other person like Maddie and Kaylee do to mostly everyone else. Something else I found interesting is all of these photos that I have of these girls, I couldn't find one where Dylan and Bethany were together without the group, like alone. Keep in mind that all of these could be from like the college years, but I just find it odd that Dylan's pretty much pictured with everyone, Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, but not Bethany. Just off to me. Y'all live together. Anyway, that's all I got. I might try to do a live because I will not be working this weekend. Instead, I'll be telling my foolish fiance about 50 times I'm not staying overnight.
Okay, there's that.
Well, on that one, I think that video proves her point wrong. I do think there was a squabble going on in the house, but what she's shown, she's not touching her. And then she shows multiple pictures of her not touching anyone else. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just think that was a bit of a stretch, but I do believe there was something going on in the house.
I do too.
I think Kaylee coming back stirred it up as well. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another video from the same person that I want to share. I'd never heard about any of this.
You what?
Lives in Boise with her husband, Dylan's stepdad, who is 33. And they do seem to be quite any pictures. For those of you who didn't catch the live, I'm just going to put this in a short, quick video. We're basically just diving into Dylan. She's 40 years old, lives in Boise with her husband, Dylan's stepdad, who is 33. And they do seem to be quite an active couple. And they just, I assume, had this baby in 2019. They are super cute together, though. One is a sophomore. Here is Dylan with all three of her sisters. She has step siblings. Two are brothers. One is a sister. And of course, the newest baby, who is a half sibling. There's the baby with stepdad. Just a side by side so you can see the resemblance. And then here is the stepdad with the girls, all of them. And then again, and keep in mind, Dylan was a tad bit younger in this picture. So the shocker for me today is that her stepdad works in remodeling, her bio dad works in insurance, and her mom, though, is employed by the University of Idaho in Boise. Now, I put this last part in here for those of you who are automatically going to throw shade. There's two options, steal the content or throw shade. So for the shade throwers, this is for you. For the content stealers, if you're not first, you're last. This is an example of actual sleuthing. So this is the photo we saw the first time Dylan came out of her house since the attack, blah, blah, blah. That one, I would not recommend.
That picture there don't look like Dylan to me. I've seen that before. I don't know. It don't look like her to me.
Can I just point something out? That picture was in the paper. That was her running. That was not her coming out of the house. That was her going on a run. If you look, she's geared up and going to run.
In hiring this PI, I'm just going to throw that out there right now. This is Dillon Street. I'll give them that. As evident right here, the box, or what looks like a piece of wood is actually this flower box. And then we see a stump. Well, that stump is right there. And it is 1 mile from a Starbucks, which they said she was exercising and then went to Starbucks. And this was a picture of her coming back from Starbucks. However, I don't believe this is Dylan. I haven't since I saw the picture the first time. Still don't now.
I agree. It don't look like Dylan to me.
I believe this is her younger sister, the one that's a senior in high school. Anyway, I've been talking for like 4.5 hours, so now I'm going to go to bed and not talk anymore.
Shit.
Exactly, Tammy. She's not supposed to go outside. Ever again.
People expect people in this position just to quit living their life. You know,
Yeah.
their life doesn't end.
It's like how people expect celebrities to just stop and have photos with it. It's hard life being a celebrity, you know.
Dylan's mom works at that other university in Idaho. It's kind of ironic to me. I don't know. And I did find some things on Maddie's ex roommate that unalived herself within the last year, I believe. I thought Xana's sister went to Washington State University, WSU. I don't think she went to Idaho. Xana's sister. Jasmine is Xana's sister. And she looks just like Xana. She's beautiful. I'm not trying to knock Dylan here or nothing, but because y'all know I do not body shame. Because she is a pretty girl, but like she doesn't seem like one of those goody good pretty girls like the rest of the girls. Does that make sense?
Yeah. More like a tomboy.
Yeah, it's Washington where she goes, Tammy. Yeah, Dylan was more tomboyish, and I could see them picking on her for that because she wasn't like the rest of them.
It could be. Or maybe one of them has an OnlyFans. No, I don't think so. I genuinely don't. I know people are saying it and that, but I don't. If they had an OnlyFans, it'd be all over the internet now.
Yeah, Aaron Carter had one.
I wouldn't know.
He did. I was going to sub to it right after he died, but they ripped that shit straight off the internet because I was going to be nosy.
Denny?
Huh?
It's a bit morbid, Denny. He dies and you want to go and subscribe to his OnlyFans.
Yeah, I like seeing the murder weapons. Xana's sister. I could be wrong, Timmy Ayo.
Yeah, Tammy, I've seen them rumours as well, but I think that'd be all over the news as well. There'd be some form of evidence, and because the media dig into your life. If they can't find nothing interesting, they stay quiet.
Aaron Carter had one, Timmy Ayo, so I don't know.
I've got OnlyFans, Tammy. You should subscribe, you simp.
You better fucking not. What's so funny?
Me having OnlyFans, I guess.
Hold on, what the fuck am I doing here? I can't get my shit together. I'm trying to go to Instagram, and I went to fucking Twitter. Search. Here we go. Okay, this here is Xana's sister, Jasmine. She looks so much like Xana. Look at this. Well, that's their baby pictures, but they were beautiful girls. Then here she is. That's Xana's sister. Where is it? I thought she went to Washington State. Yeah. But I do know Ethan, the other two of the triplets, they go to the same school and they haven't left. And, that has to be hard for them. Trying to find a picture of Xana and her together. Because they could totally pass for twins, I swear.
Tammy,
See how
she's
much
like the only that can cover the case.
Who?
Brian's attorney. She's like the only one that can thingy the case, defend him basically.
Yeah, she goes to Washington State. That's what I was looking for on that.
Idaho don't have public defenders like every other state. They're what you call very limited, and they get assigned, like they get offered the case. If they take it, they don't. If they take it, they do. If they don't, they don't. And attorneys are all about the money, so they're going to take the case anyway, aren't they? I think it's selected. They're selected on how much pro bono or something like that they have to do, because all the firms have to do pro bono work and think cases like that.
I'm surprised, not a pro bono lawyer, just a regular lawyer didn't pick this up for it being such a high profile case. Because I've seen lawyers do that just to build a name for themselves. Like, oh, I'll take this case for free just to benefit themselves. Does that make sense?
Like I am, Sam.
Shut up. All right,
What?
I want to go. I want to play some of this about Maddie's ex-roommate. That unalived herself. It's sad, but let me see here. There's a few videos on it. Bear with me.
We're bearing.
All right. They were all gorgeous. They were. Usually girls like that, though, they are fucking mean to other people.
Never mind.
Shut up. All right, here we go.
This talked about very little, and I think this is huge. I think this right here, I hope investigators, FBI, and the police are looking into this situation. It has now come out. Apparently, somebody posted on Twitter that there was a girl who allegedly committed suicide February 24th of this year. This is Hannah Cleary. Hannah was also a student at the University of Idaho. What's even more ironic is that she was one of the victim's roommates, old roommates, ex-roommates. She used to live with Maddie. Now, this person put out a tweet and said she deserved it. Each and every one of them deserved what they got. Karma finally caught up to the horror all of her gang did to that little girl back then. Now, you already know, if you put this kind of stuff on social media, I'm pretty sure your account's going to get took down real quick, fast, in a hurry. I'm just saying that's how the world works. I mean, I've said far less and got my accounts took. So, I mean, I'm just pointing that out there, okay? And we do like to point out and discuss the facts, not the misinformation. I did find this comment too. Not saying anyone deserves what happened, but you can see in the food truck video the way Maddie just kind of plows through that group of three like they don't even exist and then start trying to grab other people's food. She definitely didn't have manners. Yeah, you can say that she was drunk, but my opinion is people's true colors show when they're drunk. Now, everybody's got their own opinions on that. But y'all, the Hannah situation, her committing suicide after allegedly being bullied. Now, this post was put out there to clarify. Hannah Cleary took her life in February. Apparently,
Okay, now this was last February, obviously.
she shared a dorm with one of the victims and got bullied. Her birthday was November the 15th. These 4 people got murdered November the 13th, 2 days before Hannah's birthday. Now, Hannah's father has been quoted, has been said, I guess he's been on the social medias, and he's come out and said, I just want to confirm or clarify that Hannah overdosed on an over-the-counter sleeping medication. Now, there's been a lot of different people saying, no, she was being bullied. That's why she took that amount of sleeping medication. I mean, look, her daddy said it was an accidental overdose. Now, here's my thing, okay? You think her daddy, if this girl got bullied and she committed suicide because she was bullied, if her daddy, the Hannah girl's daddy, or anybody in her family, if anybody in Hannah Cleary's family had anything to do with this murder of these 4 Idaho students, do you think he would publicly state, yes, my daughter committed suicide because she was bullied by these people? No, because in my opinion, that would put him as a suspect.
I do know that Hannah's brother, he was speaking out. I wish I had a fucking memory. I could remember shit. But I always thought Hannah's brother was involved too, for revenge.
He doesn't want to be on the suspect list. Now, I do want you to sit back and think to yourself, if your child is being bullied, you're going to have some thoughts on that. Are you not? Are you not? Okay. Now, since this key piece of information has come out, I think it's very, very important that we know all the stuff that's going on. Now, I previously thought that maybe it was the ex-boyfriend. Maybe it was Jack. Maybe that's why the dog didn't bark. Maybe it was the other roommates who was sleeping downstairs who ironically were unharmed, who ironically didn't hear anything out of the ordinary. But now, since I've heard that there was this Hannah Cleary who was an ex-roommate of one of the victims, and now there's people coming out saying Hannah was bullied by these people and they got what they deserved. Y'all, that absolutely, to me, has a lot to do with everything that we're discussing. But I do want to know y'all's thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like I said, okay, the Hannah girl's daddy did come out and say, oh, well, she just accidentally overdosed. So everybody's like, well, okay, clear him. I'm like, no. I don't think anybody needs to be just cleared that quick. You get what I'm saying? I think at this point, when you got 4 people that have been murdered and you've got the police and investigators don't even know where the hell to start, you got the families of these victims out here on national TV claiming that they're finding out more through social media and through the news than through the actual police department and investigators. That says a lot to me. It says a lot. Do y'all think the Hannah Cleary committing suicide has anything to do with the murders of these 4 students? Let me know in the comments below. Please share this video.
So what do y'all think? I got another one or two to play on this. Let's see here. You can lie when you're drunk. I don't drink. So. You still there, Frank?
Yeah, I was about to say you do drink, you just don't remember.
I would remember that. I would probably get my memory back if I did drink.
Probably.
So now you're making fun of me?
I'm not making... What?
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 Huh? Yeah.
What was that? Yeah.
Yeah. She make fun of how I
Yeah.
say yeah.
I told you where that yeah comes from. It's out of what's the film called? Rain Man. Yeah, I've been counting
Yeah.
cards. Yeah.
Sounds so American. All right, I'm gonna play this one now. Cause I want to find one about her brother, cause that's who I thought it was.
To some rabbit holes because you cannot make this stuff up. Back to meon.com. Who was Hannah Clear? Madison Mogen's rumored ex-roommate killed herself after being bullied, allegedly. Online sleuths have independently investigated the Idaho murder case and have devised several theories about why someone was out to kill the 4 victims by Varnica Srivastava, December 9, 2022. A new hypothesis recently circulated on Twitter that one of the victims in an Idaho murder case was a bully and their actions had led to the suicide of Madison Mogen's former roommate. This article is based on sources, and MEI cannot verify this information independently. And of course, this is Mind Shock. I do not claim anything is true or untrue here. The entire motto of the podcast is, of course, the only thing we know for sure is that we don't know anything for sure. But I really don't understand why all these triggered goofs are going around and just getting instantly triggered at anybody theorizing. Now, obviously, anybody calling for any kind of harassment, I mean, that's inexcusable. But simply objectively discussing theories without claiming they are true or untrue, I mean, anything to keep the awareness up and keep pressure on law enforcement and keep this in the public consciousness to make sure that true justice is obtained. I mean, how is that a bad thing? Not to mention, obviously, in certain cases, online sleuthing does lead to solving cases. So the article here, the deaths of 4 University of Idaho students have rocked the small and usually peaceful college town. All 4 victims, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogen, Anna Coronado, and Ethan Chapman, were killed in a 3-story rented home off campus in the early hours of November 13th. They were all 20 to 21 years old. Police have not yet identified the suspect or suspects in the case. Online sleuths have independently investigated the Idaho murder case and have devised several theories about why someone would want to kill the 4 victims. A new hypothesis recently circulated on Twitter that one of the victims in an Idaho murder case was a bully and their actions had caused a former roommate to take her own life. Who was Hannah Clear? A Twitter user claimed the quadruple homicide is connected to Hannah Clear, who was supposedly an ex-roommate and shared her dorm room with one of the Idaho victims. As per claims made in the tweet, they bullied and harassed Clear, who eventually took her own life February 24th, 2022. The user wrote, Hannah Clear took her life in February. She shared a dorm with one of the victims and got bullied. Her birthday, November 15th. With the post, the user has even shared 2 images. One of the images supposedly of Hannah Clear, which is captioned, Hannah was born on November 15, 2000 and passed away February 24th, 2022 at the age of 21. A user from Instagram had commented on Madison Mogen's post after she died, commenting, "You deserved everything that happened to you, especially after what you did to that poor girl. You elitists are all the same. I'll be reserving my spit once they properly bury you." I mean, that is an insane post, of course. That's pretty crazy. These hostile comments were made by Instagram users on Madison's profile as these bullying theories were pushed by internet conspiracy theorists, but there is absolutely no proof about if these theories hold any water or if they have even a shred of truth to them. Despite the fact that they're still unaware of whether the attacker specifically targeted the students or their apartment, police highlighted their concerns about the incidents once more on December 1st. Although no suspects have been identified or a murder weapon has been located, the public has been urged to come forward with any information that might help solve the case. So a couple of points here. First of all, to those, there's people claiming, again, I have no knowledge of this case and this ex-roommate, but people committing murder often stage it as a suicide. And people who actually are legitimately suicidal and have even voiced these suicidal tendencies or thoughts of any kind or even plans, there's no magic Dungeons and Dragons spell in the universe where if you want to commit suicide, somehow that means no predators, no murderers, nobody looking to harm you will do it. There's no magic protection spell. So I don't know why all these people discussing true crime, especially so-called true crime aficionados, they're that utterly clueless that they think that just because someone might be planning to commit suicide or is suicidal, that means there's zero chance any kind of murder would ever target them for any reason. Really weird. Or particularly target them and then stage it as a suicide if they thought there was a greater chance of them getting away with it, particularly if an individual was really suicidal. So again, just keeping that in mind. I'm not saying that's the case here, obviously. There's no way to know that. I'm not claiming this is the case here. But if this was only one rabbit hole, I mean, there seem to be quite a few here. Because there's also, and if these really are murders, so this average of 0 murders in Moscow, it might not be true. Because we have yet another. Also, there seems to be some kind of a troubled history here with these sororities and fraternities. Like, how far back does this go? And also, I don't have the numbers here, but what are the average amount of deaths, suicides, bodies being found in the creek at any university with a particular population per capita so we can compare it to the University of Idaho? Does it really stand out or does it not? But either way, we have a minimum of 2 deaths here with potential circumstances involving similar groups of people in these Greek fraternities and sororities. So again, might not mean anything, Or maybe it does. How would one know without objective investigation?
I don't know. I just find that interesting. I always have.
I used to watch Mind Shock, and then he started just putting all the same stuff up over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, I hate people that does that. I can't watch that shit either.
He'll take a live that he did, and you think, oh, this is brilliant, and then he just premieres it once a week. There was one time he was having 3 premieres at one time. 3 different cases, like. And I hate the way he says, Keegan Klein. That's what he does. If you watch his Delphi videos, he always goes, Keegan Klein. People tell him in the comments and in the live chats as well, stop doing that.
I can't with you.
Can't what?
You crack me up.
Squidgy's asking what case that was.
Hold on. I don't know, Squid. I don't know.
I don't know. Well,
What?
there's a lot. Says a lot, doesn't it?
Hmm?
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 Hmm? Hmm?
Hmm?
Oh.
That's about it for me. I don't. You got anything to add to that?
Do not eat yellow snow, especially
Yeah,
when
I learned that as a kid.
You probably did. God, stop eating yellow snow.
Is that what happened to you? You ate yellow snow?
No, I don't eat snow. Strictly
We used
no
to
snow
make
diet.
we used to make ice cream out of snow. I don't remember how
Really?
to make it, but yeah, my
Ugh.
mom. It was the best shit ever when I was a kid.
What,
I wouldn't eat
rainwater?
it now.
Ugh. Didn't you have a freezer when you was a kid?
Do what?
Didn't you have a freezer when you was a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah? So what are you eating snow for?
Because we like to do it, and it's something that we used to do with our mom. I don't know. I was a
Okay.
kid. I didn't know no better. I wouldn't fucking eat it now. Hell no.
Bet you would. Yeah, that's because you live in Florida and there is no snow.
Yeah, but I still wouldn't.
You could make a
I
sand
honestly
cone.
miss the snow. I do miss the snow because, like on Christmas and stuff, it was. We always had snow on Christmas when I was little, and I have a big family. Well, I used to, and one of my uncles, he used to take all of us kids out. There was this big ass hill on the road. Went down this big ass hill, and he would take us all sleigh riding and stuff. And I know it's just the best times of my life, the best memories.
Always somewhere to go sleigh riding when you was a kid, Walter. Nowadays, you got to go on holiday to get the snow.
Yeah, I loved my childhood. I really did. I have some good memories from childhood.
Oh, not sweet people.
It is. Because I had a big family, you know, and a lot of cousins. And
Oh, you know, yesterday on your live, did you notice the bit where Prayer Garden says, "Put a one in the chat if you think that I'm a vulgar person or something, and I'll leave." You should have seen the ones in the chat. Angel pointed it out today. All you seen was 1 1 1 1 1 1 1.
she didn't leave.
No, and then she threatened to block them all. Hi, Lucia. Jaded says she loves the snow at Christmas. So beautiful.
I do
After that, it's
too.
got
That's
to go.
what I miss. Is snow at Christmas time. I do. I miss that. Instead, we have fucking
Yeah.
85-degree weather at Christmas.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to end
Yeah.
this. Unless you want to
Okay,
stay on
good.
here and talk. No, go ahead. Hi, Lucia.
If you want to start and talk, start a new life so it don't, you know, so it don't cross it over like you normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it separate from the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew you was going to do that. Yeah, I can't promise I'm going to come back live, but
That's a no, people. That's a no.
hold on. Let me see what Squid's saying here. Oh, wow. I didn't hear about that. Can you text that to me, Squid? I'm going to look into that. We might go over it. Because I'll forget. If you don't mind texting that to me. And I'm going to dig into that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
See, Tammy Ayo, see how Squidgy is helpful. What you doing? Nothing.
She's rooting for her home state in the Super Bowl. Can't blame
I'll
her.
shoot them. I'll shoot them birds out of the sky. How about that?
I just don't get it. I
Hmm?
used to watch pro football whenever Peyton Manning, before he retired, I was a huge Peyton Manning fan. And there was this guy that played with Peyton at Indianapolis that I went to school with. And then Noah's Broncos, Denver Broncos. Or, yeah, they played there. Then they went to Indianapolis, and the guy I went to school with went. It's like he went wherever Peyton went. I don't know. And I used to really get into it then, but when Peyton retired, I quit watching it.
Not here, you don't, Tammy. You silly woman.
Baseball, I used to watch baseball. I used to be a Braves fan, Atlanta Braves. I like Chipper Jones.
Go Red Sox. Go Red Sox.
No, Roll Tide. I'm just college football
Go
for me.
Red Sox.
Roll Tide, motherfucker.
Go Red Sox.
You got Red Sox on?
No, but they own Liverpool. FSG, they own Liverpool and they own the Red Sox. That's what we're talking about, Tammy. What is wrong with her?
You don't watch college football, Lucy? Oh my God, I love college football.
You don't watch college football?
I'm a college basketball fan too. Well, not as much as I used to be. Kentucky was my team. They used to have the best fucking basketball team in the country. And then the recent the coach Calipari, he's just ruined Kentucky basketball. I don't even watch it no more. And that's my home state.
Did you know that Kentucky Fried Chicken is an actual state?
No,
I didn't
it's
know.
not.
Yes, it is. I've got a road sign that proves it.
Whatever.
You've seen it, so don't even deny it.
All right, you're right. I'm not going to argue with you over a goddamn road sign.
Always, always.
No, not always.
Go Phillies. Will you just stop? Yeah, FSG own Liverpool and they own the Red Sox, and I think they've just bought a hockey team because they haven't invested in Liverpool. Just saying.
Just saying.
Well, they earned the second most amount of money in football last year, and we spent nothing this year. Nothing. The team's dying out there. We've got no midfield, no defence. Oh.
You growling at me now?
What the hell's soccer? What the hell is soccer? Answer the question, Tammy. You don't even know. Made up word that the Australians and Americans use.
It's
just
football for
ridiculous.
y'all, ain't it?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know why it's called? We call it football because it's played with your foot. And we played it
I'm gonna
100
stick my
years
foot up
before.
your ass if you don't chill out.
No, I don't, Tammy Ayo. Nobody knows what soccer is.
Yeah, we do. Us Americans do. Our
Yeah, put a
country's
sock
bigger
in it.
than yours. There's more of us than there is you.
Yeah, well, we still rule the waves. Yeah.
I can't with you. All right, I'm going to end this. Okay.
Yeah, it's your channel. You do what you want. All right, and I'm going to jump down.
All right. Well, thank y'all for coming by and all that. Like I said, I can't promise I'll be live later. You take care too, Jaded, Timmy Ayo, Squid, Lucia, all my loves. Some of my most favorite people. I love y'all, for real. All right, well, we'll take care. Jaded, I'm reading yours. Y'all take care. We'll have a good day. Be back later, maybe. If I don't squirrel off into another fucking world somewhere. Bye.